I've been teaching players and coaches about the media for many years. Some really big names, World Cup winners, Premier League managers, star turns, people who've already done loads of interviews in their careers. Despite all that experience, when I ask them to describe to me what different types of interview they've encountered, they quite often struggle. You might say, well, why would I want to know that? And I'd answer that knowing about different types of interview helps you better prepare to do them, knowing what challenges you're likely to face. And being better prepared should mean performing better, just like a game. So there are loads of different types of interviews. In TV, we often have names for them, so let's go through just a few. A sit-down interview, the clue's in the name. 2 chairs set out in the room, one for you and one for the interviewer. And why do you get a chair? Because it's meant to be a longer interview, so you need to be comfortable. What's the challenge there? More questions, a wider range of questions. So you need to be prepared to talk about more than just the next game. A stand-up interview, again, very obvious clue. You're standing up, so it's going to be shorter, but that means it's going to be snappier, more likely to get straight to the key points. So you need to be ready for that. It might also be live. Make sure you check before. Down the line. This can be a really tricky one to do. It's you at the training ground perhaps, talking to a presenter who's in the studio, so you can't see the person asking the questions. You can only hear them. The questions usually come in via an earpiece, like an AirPod, and the sound quality isn't always great, particularly if there's a lot of background noise. It's almost always live as well, so people are already nervous about that even without potential technical issues. You need to look straight in the camera lens and try and imagine you can see the interviewer through it. The timing of interviews is also a factor to consider. Pre-match and post-match are very different things. Pre-match, well, that could be done any time up to an hour before kick-off, for instance. Every Premier League game now requires one player from each team to do a pre-match interview on arrival on match day. But whenever they take place, they'll generally reflect on recent form, cover any big issues, and then focus on this next game. So are you ready for all of that? Post-match, another that can be extra tricky to do, because straight after the game, the adrenaline's pumping. Emotions need to be controlled, as these are often live, or at least recorded, and then played out immediately. You need to get your thoughts in order quickly. If there's been a controversial incident, or if the club's form's been poor, you can expect to get questions about that. So just in TV alone, there are numerous different types of interview. Then specific to different types of media, radio, online, newspapers, magazines, they've all got their own sorts. Start to assess the different types, and then what makes a good interview and what makes a bad one. The better you understand how it all works, how it all fits together, the better you'll be able to prepare.